It's 2019 and the first edition of Real Estate Update with James Wedgeworth. Happy New Year to you, James.
You too. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's look at what's going on in the market now. I'm looking at national numbers of home sales or, median home price and the like. You always say to me, do not count on that to tell you what's going on here on Hilton Head Island. Why is that?
In other words, the real question is, why is the Hilton Head market different from the national market?
You said it much more succinctly. I appreciate it.
It's totally different for a couple of reasons. And we've discussed this before, and I have the line that says all real estate's local. Mm-hmm. It's local within local, meaning it's even different. It's, Hilton Head's different from Cincinnati, Ohio. In Hilton Head, you got certain markets that are different from certain market. The $500,000 market's different than the $2 million
Absolutely.
market. I think the main reasons they're different, Allie, is in the real world, if you live in Cincinnati and you get transferred to Chicago, you have to buy a house to get to Chicago.
Sure.
You can't live in a hotel. We've got a wife and 4 kids. So you're buying shelter. The Hilton Head market is totally different because when you move here, a lot of times you're buying a second home, part-time home, or rental home. So it's different because you don't have to buy. There's another way that the market is so different. And let me give you an example. In the real world, a developer goes in and they buy some land, they do a subdivision. And every house in the subdivision is built within 3 years with the lot value is the same. You don't have oceanfront, second row, you don't have creek front, golf course. Every lot value is the same. And every house is the same age, same size, same lot value. So it's much easier to determine the value of your house.
Absolutely.
Now, the majority of the homes on Hilton Head are custom-built homes. So you got a house on this lot built in 1982, you got a house on this lot built in 2005. This house is 1,800 square feet, this house is 4,200 square feet. So it makes it a little harder to determine value, and Hilton Head's just a little different from that point. So there's several reasons that make the Hilton Head market different from the national market.
I mean, if I'm looking at a home on a lot and it's an A-frame, right, which you don't see too often, right? There are a few of them. Okay, and then my neighbor has one that, as you said, that was built like late 2010s or something. I might think in the A-frame, well, gee, they just sold theirs for such and such, but I mean, the age of my home, the lot value may be the same, right? But it's
usually what it is, the guy in the A-frame calls me and says, what's my house worth? And I say, your house is worth X. He said, no, it's worth more than that. The house next door just sold for $800,000. I said, that's a 5-year-old house. Right. It's twice as big as you, and yours was built in 1962 and it's built in 05. So there are factors to consider. You just can't say, well, that house is 800, so therefore my house is 800. Doesn't work that way.
No, and do people listen normally?
No. Well, eventually they will, but that sounds terrible on TV. But
I mean, your job. I mean, how long have you been working on the island? I don't want to sound like I'm a promo for you, but you really know the market. You've been here a while. You've watched the ups and downs and the crazy highs and lows. And
I've been here 38 years, I think. Who's counting? But here's what I tell people when they come. I can help you. The reason I can help you is I understand the market. And most people think their property's worth more than it is. That's just the way it is. And since I do it all day, every day, I can say, well, we sold this house, we sold this house. I can help you because your house is worth X, and I can find a buyer for your house. That's what people are usually looking for, is somebody that can find a buyer for their house. So I can help you determine the value of the house. I can help you find a buyer. Any good realtor that's been here a while, that's got a clientele and gets referrals, and a lot of people buy one, then they buy two, they buy three. If you got that backlog of buyers, I can help you in that respect. Now, a lot of people, they don't understand that about real estate, and that's what a professional does. I tell people all the time, I said, my job's kind of like a medical doctor. I can help you. I can figure out what's wrong, and I can say, here's how you fix what's wrong.
Well, let's talk about how you fix it, because with an older home, you may come in and I've got like flowered velvet wallpaper, heaven forbid, but say I did, and
a lot of people do.
Shag rugs and outdated kitchen, bathroom. How how do you convince me, or is it worthwhile for me to make those improvements, and then can I put my home on the market for more money? And hey, James, am I going to make that investment back on the improvements that I've made?
That's about a 30-minute program.
I know. Here we go. 5 questions at once again.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, here's what I would tell you in most cases. In most cases, I tell people the 2 places you need to spend money to get your house sold are the kitchen and the master bathroom. Now, the other place you need to spend money is usually wallpaper is kind of out a little bit. Somebody the other day told me it's coming back in. I don't believe it is, but you know, so there's certain things we can do to help your house become more sellable. And usually it revolves around bathrooms and the wallpaper in the bathrooms. Take the wallpaper down. What happens, wallpaper, the seam comes loose and it peels back.
Looks awful, yeah.
And I was just yesterday at a house just right down the street, well, one street over from you, and I told the people, I said, we need to take this wallpaper down because the seams are coming loose. So we do that, we paint them, we don't put wallpaper back up. And then I say, what can we do in the kitchen and what can we do in the master bathroom? Now, the main question is, can you get that money back?
Can you? And then, or can you tell that person, if you do those things, I can list it for more, or do you tell them, I can't list it for more, but it'll sell?
You've hit the key word there. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
This guy called me recently, and he had a villa, older villa, and when they built them, they had rough sawn cypress on the living room wall, a dark color. Which was popular in I'm trying to think when it
Who
was.
knows?
77.
Right.
77. And I said, you need to paint that. He said, no, I don't want to fool with it. The buyer may want a different color. I said, no, you need to paint it. And I said, it's $1,200 because I know what it's going to cost. And he kept saying, no, I'm not going to do it. And he said, well, I'll get my $1,200 back. And about 3 months later, he called me and said, I can't believe you hadn't sold the villa. I said, we really need to paint that wall. It's so dark. Everybody thinks your villa's dark. So I finally convinced him. He painted it, and the next person looked at it bought it. Now, did he get his $1,200 back? I'm not sure. But the deal is it's sold versus, and if you're not using the villa, it doesn't take you many months to make $1,200 up. So that's what I tell people. I can't guarantee you I can get the money back, but I can guarantee that it will make your property more sellable. So from that perspective, it gets it sold. I don't know if I got the money back, but it's sold, and that's what he was trying to do.
But you know, I bet that's kind of difficult to explain at times, because I would be thinking, gee, I'm making these improvements, now let's list it for more. But you really want the foot traffic and you want someone to come in and buy it. So if those are negatives.
Yeah, here's what people say. They say, well, we'll let the new owner decide that. And here's where we get that, Alan, is I go in and list a house, and you don't believe this. A lot of these houses have that gold and green shag carpet.
Really?
Really, the older homes.
Maybe we should do a home tour. No, we better not do that.
And I said to them, you may want to consider replacing the carpet. And they always say, well, I'm going to let the new buyer do that. I said, well, unfortunately, you're not going to get a new buyer because real estate is a very emotional sale. People buy things they like.
Do you see that? Do you see sometimes someone will walk and it's just a gut, oh, I love it?
Exactly.
Or they walk and they see the shag carpet, they say, okay, never mind, show us another place. Really?
They say that. Here's what I tell people. When people walk in a house, within the first 5 seconds of being in the foyer, they decide whether they like it or not. Now, they haven't even seen all the bedrooms yet, and they don't understand it's got 2x6 interior walls versus 2x4 interior walls. They like it. Now, if they like it, they go forward. If they don't like the feel, it doesn't matter. You got 2x6 interior walls. They don't care. So that's what I tell people. You got to make your house has to present well to get an offer. What we call slow dancing, serious discussion. Let's make an offer. I don't think it's worth X, but I'll make an offer on that. So we start moving forward in that manner.
Is there an average number of times that you will show, say, a home or a villa, I'm sure it's different, before someone will make an offer? Do people always go at least twice to look, or do they make an offer first time through, or is there any average?
That's actually an excellent question. In fact, I wish people would ask that question more. Here's what I tell people. Nobody looks at a house one time. In our business, we have what we call second and third showings. If your house has been on the market 3 months and I've had 18 people look at your house and 0 of the 18 came back for a second look, you got a problem. It's what we call second and third showings. is probably somewhere about a 2.5 average. But I have sold houses that people looked at in one time, but I'm pretty well count them on one hand.
Sure.
I've done 7,000, so
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What they do is they look at a house, they say, can we go back tomorrow and look at these two houses? Yes. And then they say the next day, can I bring my brother over and show him that house, the third showing? Yeah. And that's when they buy it.
Well, what about the situation where you get a couple that comes and one member of the couple says, I love it, but I've got to get my husband or I've got to get my wife to come look. Then the other partner comes and goes, ugh. Does that happen a lot?
It happens.
That would be a little tough, though, but I guess you're used to it. I mean, how do you deal with that? You look for something else, I guess.
You look for something else, and both parties have to agree.
Sure.
Is what I always tell people. Both parties, the husband and wife, have to agree. What I've noticed over the years that I'm surprised the number of times they do. Mm-hmm. I'm totally surprised the number of people that do.
Well, we have more to talk about this market and how home sales are going on Hilton Head Island. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.